What's up guys, Excalibur here and welcome back to Star Ocean Anamnesis. So today we got the second part of the Purged Wizard Valkyrie Profile event, so let's take a look at the update, shall we? And I'll do a weapon pull later, because there is a very good gacha here, and I'm looking for that great sword. Wait, what? There's an issue where you can't progress past the title screen if you're on Japanese voices. Oh no, I knew it. It's part of their plan. They're trying to get us all to switch to English voices. Oh no, the horror. Regardless, the first actual thing is the Temple of Lightning. Enemies are weak to lightning, so make sure to bring Muria. Summer Muria also works very well here. So bring any of those and you should be good to go. Invoke Muria with her Plasma Cyclone should be able to just completely solo this. So very simple. The Purged Wizard, Chapter 2. So, this is a continuation of the event that we had 2 weeks ago, which is still ongoing. I haven't actually gone through the cutscenes this time, so I'm not sure if they're voiced. I imagine they are. Regardless, we have magic crystals, which are the exact same crystals that we had in the previous event, and you can also exchange them in the exact same box draw. So if you already went through the first 3 boxes, then you just continue from box 4, which that's kind of unfortunate, but what can you do? Then we have the Valkyrie Coin Black, which you can exchange in a normal shop for character tickets, limit breakers, AP star seeds. Make sure you grab all of that. You've got plenty of time, though. I think there's still like 28 days left in the event, so that's a lot of time. So, for the event weapons, we have the Glance Reviver, a blade and sheath, which increases entrapment by 20% damage, gives you 5% lifesteal, and increases critical hit chance while you're charge assaulting. We actually have an elemental blade and sheath in the coin shop, so technically you could transmute this thing into the Searing Sword and then just use that. The lifesteal is very good on this though, as well as the entrapment extra damage, because that's one of Hrist's main skills, so if you're going to use her, then you might want to use Glance Reviver, but you could also transmute it. And then we have the Striking Sword, which increases dead end damage, AP recovery speed, and increases single target damage dealt, and this one is made for, what's his name? Arngrim. This is actually kind of decent, because it increases his dead end damage, which is his very powerful skill. The single target damage does not do much because he already has that himself. AP recovery speed also doesn't really do much for him, considering that he's more of a melee character. There aren't many great swords in the game yet though, and the only one that's in the coin shop is the Durandal. So technically, if you're going to run Arngrim and you don't manage to pull any of his gacha greatswords, you could run this. So I recommend hanging on to that if you're going to run him. Then we have the Jet Black Barrette, which restores 3% HP every 5 seconds when you're targeted and gives you Taunt +2. This is also a very excellent accessory if you're going to play a tank. Well, you don't necessarily have to play a tank. It's actually more useful for sharpshooters who are trying to play makeshift tank. So if you're going to run somebody like Claire, you could run this on her, give her a Taunt +2, and then she also has that HP recovery. That works very well. It also works on Winter Eve, because she doesn't have any healing herself, so with this you can make her a better tank. Pretty good. And then we have the Valkyrie Feather, which increases critical hit chance during charge assault, and reduces attack damage you take. I'm pretty sure the Hawkeye charm, hold on a second, let me look this up. I should have looked this up beforehand. No, what am I doing? Eagle Eye? Nope. We have the Charm of Insight, that's the one. Increases critical hit chance by 15%, and it also increases critical damage by 10%. I said 15%, right? Yeah, it's 15% and 10% damage. That's just a lot better than this thing. It does decrease attack damage taken, but that's not too important. Especially not on an offensive accessory that requires you to charge assault the entire time, so I wouldn't really recommend running that. You could just transmute it. So I'm pretty sure that's it for all of this. Of course, event achievements, and oh, by the way, for the previous achievements, I think I can look them up. Hold on a second. These achievements, these were introduced with the Lenneth and Silmeria Awakenings, and you can actually get the Gamma chips. So now that we have Gandar, you can actually complete these last 5 achievements and get 7 Gamma chips that way. But you do have to complete it like 40 times, I think, and then one more within 2 minutes, so that's a lot of farming. And then we have the boss, the Ballistic Rhino, who's weak to lightning, and he is a beast type enemy. Lightning is actually one of the better elements that we have. We have one-handed swords, daggers, blade and sheath. I don't think we have a gun though, but we do have a lightning bow. So we got plenty of weapons to deal with this, and then now we also have a greatsword that can deal with that, so that's pretty cool. Lightning, a very good element. Rhotic would actually be very good against this boss, so if you've got a Rhotic, I highly recommend you pull him out. So Ballistic Rhino shouldn't be too difficult, because if I read this correctly, he seems to be a very slow boss, so shouldn't be too difficult. And the two characters that we got with this update are Hrist and Arngrim, two very powerful characters. So let's start off with Hrist here. Her first talent nullifies the critical hit that you take while you're charge assaulting and increases attack damage dealt by 30% while you're charge assaulting for the entire party, reduces damage taken by 20% and gives 25% HP anti-flinch for the entire party. She also increases the entire party's single target damage by 20% and increases their AP recovery speed by 50%. And she increases her own attack and hit stat by 20% and 10% when she uses her long-range skills. Her rush has a 4000% multiplier, and it increases her critical hit chance and damage both by 30%. And then her battle skills are all very fast, with the exception of Purgatorial Spear. She's got 2 long-range attacks and 2 close-range attacks, and then Entrapment is her main damage skill. And her attack stat is sitting at 2500, which is actually kind of low for a defender, but it goes up to 3000 when you use her long-range battle skill, and 3000 is very good. So I think Hrist is actually a very strong character. She has a lot of different buffs, most notably the nullifies critical hits during charge assault and increasing attack damage during charge assault. That pairs very well with the other character that was introduced, Arngrim, and I think the only other character in the game who has a talent like that is Katarina, but she only does it for attackers. So this is for everybody. Very nice to have in a party. Single target damage is that's kind of low, 20%, but hey, she does buff it. The AP recovery speed helps out sharpshooters as well as herself if she uses her long-range attacks. That buff seems to be kind of rough to keep up. 6 seconds, that's very short. Although you could use the long-range skills in close range and keep it up like that, so that's also very nice. And then 25% HP anti-flinch is also a lot, so overall Hrist is a very powerful character, and if you like the Valkyrie Profile characters, highly recommend you pick her up because she is the only defender in this set of characters, so definitely pick her up if you want. And then we have this guy. This guy is probably the most powerful DPS character that we have in the game. So his first talent increases the dead end damage by 100% while he's charge assaulting. His second talent gives him 15% HP recovery every 3 seconds while he's charging skills, which basically means tap and hold the skill until you see it flicker green, and then just keep holding that for 3 seconds. Right before you charge assault, what I mean. And then his third talent gives him 95-30 guts, which is very powerful, gives him anti-flinch of 10% HP or less, and reduces the defense of enemies by 30%, and his last talent increases his attack and HP by 20% and 15%. And his rush has the first 5000% multiplier in the game. It also increases critical hit chance by 100% for 10 seconds, and then all of his battle skills are incredibly fast, with the most powerful one here being Dead End. You can see an 800 slot multiplier. It also costs 48 AP, which means that you might have to run some kind of AP cost reduction as an accessory if you want to make full use of that in a combo. And then his attack is also sitting at a mighty 3356, which I'm pretty sure is the highest base attack stat that we have in the game. So as you can guess, he is very strong. He covers basically every base that a DPS character needs to cover. He has that high attack stat, he has a very powerful skill that comes out really quickly, he recovers his own HP, he also has that guts which can help him survive, it allows him to play a bit more risky. On top of that, he does need to charge assault, so it does help him out with that. Anti-flinch, which doesn't really do much considering that we have a lot of defenders in our parties. So yeah, that doesn't really matter. He also decreases defense for the enemies, which also doesn't really do much. Defense is kind of a negligible debuff, but still, it's some form of party buffing. So overall, Arngrim, very powerful. The only thing holding him back, though, is the fact that he uses a greatsword, and the only elemental greatsword in the game is the one that was introduced alongside of him, the lightning one. I don't count Beast Lord because that one's not available anymore. So if you don't manage to pull his Lightning Greatsword, that does kind of reduce his usefulness by a little bit, not by a lot. But hey, I'm not telling you to keep pulling for that Greatsword until you get it. So I just say do the guaranteed pull, and then if you don't get it, cut your losses and run Arngrim with Durandal or maybe his event weapon. And for the weapons, we have the Valkyrie Favor, which gives lightning imbuement and increases lightning damage dealt by 15%, increases attack by 5%, and gives you 80-10 guts. A very strong blade and sheath. The other lightning blade and sheath that we have is the Ryugumaru, and that one doesn't increase lightning damage. So this is one of the very first weapons we have that has an element and also increases the damage of the element. I think we also had an orb that does that. But very good if you're running blade and sheath characters. Highly recommend you pick this up. And then for the greatsword, we have the Bahamut Tear, which imbues attacks with lightning, increases normal attack AP recovery, and at max limit break you unlock 20% critical hit damage. So this is also a very good weapon, and like I said with Arngrim, it's basically the only elemental greatsword that we currently have in the game. Of course, we only have two greatsword users, A2 and Arngrim. So if you're running any of those two and you don't have Beast Lord yet, I highly recommend you at least pull on the guaranteed one for this. And last and definitely least, we have the Beast Daggers, which increase damage dealt to Beast by 40%, gives you 15% critical hit chance and 20% critical hit damage, and at limit break 3 you unlock 30% AP recovery speed. So we already have another set of daggers in the gacha that increases damage dealt to beasts. I think it's called the Minotaur Beast Swords, and that one also increases rush damage as a second factor by 20%. So personally, I would actually say that one is better than this. So if you have the Beast Swords, you don't really have a reason to run this. On top of that, we don't really have any dagger characters that can benefit from these types of daggers, aside from Youth Sophia. So yeah, I don't like this thing. But I think that's it for the entire update. So hold on, let me just do the free pull. Maybe I'll get lucky. Who knows? I actually managed to get Miki. Okay, well, it's a 3-star. I actually got Miki yesterday as a free pull. So that was pretty cool. So now we go on to the weapon draw. Okay. So I'm looking for the Valkyrie Favor is cool. I'm looking for the Bahamut Tear, so I actually have something to use on my A2, because as you probably know, I didn't manage to pull Beast Lord, so my A2 is just sitting in purgatory with her Durandal. She doesn't have anything she can use, so I really hope I can pull this thing so I can actually use her. So, game, I'll make a deal with you. If I pull the Bahamut Tear on this 10 pull, I swear I will max limit break my A2. Sound fair? I get the Bahamut Tear and you get my large limit breakers. Alright, here we go. Give me something good. Okay, how many do we have? Okay, I'll take it. 2. That could be anything though. It could be 2 Beast Daggers. The Valkyrie Favor would also be cool to have. But I do have Ryugumaru, so I'm not in desperate need of it. Not yet. Oh, the Dual Flames. Those actually have fire imbuement. So they could come in handy. Someday. Oh no. Well, there we go. That's the Valkyrie Favor. I guess the Ryugumaru is now retired. Not like I had any Blade and Sheath users that could actually use it. Okay. Come on. Here we go. Oh. I think it's this one. Nope. Might be the one after this. Please. No. Damn it. Are you kidding me? These greatswords just keep avoiding me. Wow. Valkyrie Favor and Beast Daggers. This is the one that I just absolutely did not want. Oh man, it sucks. It sucks. Okay. Well, I think that about does it. Is there anything good in here? Blood Feast, Gatsu, Phase. Wait, Phase. Oh, that's right, it's not Light Imbuement. Is it? Nope. I think both of these... Oh yeah, all of these are divinities, that's right. Damn it! Didn't manage to pull Bahamut Tear, so now I have to wait for the next greatsword, and I'm not sure what that's going to be. but I can't wait to not pull that one again. Okay, and that about does it for the update. So, hope that was helpful, and I guess I will see you all next time. Peace!